Another spiral portal was spotted in the sky night before last on August 12th. The news reports that it was caused by a rocket launched from Cape Canaveral, but that's not adding up. I'll play part of a video put together by Seconds of Horror reporting on this.
Guys, reading this from X, which was posted on August 12th, it goes on to say, multiple reports from different states, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, Western Virginia, New York, Connecticut, Oklahoma, maybe others, showing a spiral light in the sky. Anyone else see it, drop your state. Now, some may believe this is coming from SpaceX, but SpaceX did not launch yesterday. The official statement came from Weather Ontario. What you saw was actually the exhaust plume from the upper stage of United Launch Alliance's Vulcan rocket, launched from Cape Canaveral at 8:56 p.m. Eastern Time for the USSF 106 mission. But like I said, there are people in multiple states that are saying they witnessed this, not just people in the northeastern states, but people also in Missouri, people in Nebraska, and people are in unity saying that they are not buying the official explanation because of the Vulcan East trajectory.
It's crazy. What's that?
So people who have witnessed this, they are doing more research because they really do believe that something's not adding up. Like this individual here, Deus Ex Machiavelli, he goes on to say that things aren't really adding up, haven't encountered a good explanation as to why observers in so many states are reporting viewing the exhaust plumes overhead or to the north. So he went to AI for answers. Now, personally, I do not like using AI for answers, but that's my personal preference. But this is what it told him. It went on to say, the image you uploaded taken in Pennsylvania shows a luminous spiral formation centered in the night sky, resembling a comet tail or a galaxy-like swirl with a bright core or trailing arms. Reports from the X thread, including the Iowa sighting and multiple replies from New Jersey, Massachusetts, Missouri, and Pennsylvania, consistently describe the phenomenon as appearing in the northern sky or moving northward. This matches your image and contradicts the expected viewing direction for the ULA Vulcan USSF 106 rocket's exhaust plume, which launched due east from Cape Canaveral, Florida at 8:56 p.m. Eastern Time. Geometrically, the plume from this launch would appear in the southern to southeastern sky from the reported locations, not north. The official statement from Weather Ontario attributing it to the Vulcan exhaust thus does not align with the observed directions or physics of the launch. Now, if you're somebody that goes to AI for answers, the AI, which I believe they're using Grok, is in agreement with these people that Weather Ontario is giving us BS. But like this person right here says, yep, don't need AI to tell me that. I'm standing in northern Massachusetts facing west, and I saw it heading north. This was the sighting over in Iowa. People have even witnessed this over in Montreal, Canada, so there's no way this is coming from Cape Canaveral, Florida, especially given the trajectory. Some of these are even looking more bizarre. These were captured over in Maryland. There are even people in Arkansas saying they witnessed this event. Now, because nobody, and I mean nobody, is buying the official explanation, there are multiple theories floating out there that this could be a possible UAP, this could be a portal opening up, or this could be Project Bluebeam getting ready for a staged fake alien invasion. Because we do know there are multiple news and media sources trying to convince people that this 3-Eye Atlas is some kind of UFO with aliens, hostile aliens, and I don't think many people are buying that either. Some people are saying that this could be some type of secret government aircraft or weaponry, or who knows, there could be some organization out there possibly spraying the skies again. No matter what you think this may be, I found this post interesting. This person says, a spiral in the sky from rockets taking off from Earth compared to the cave paintings of our ancestors. So what do they depict? So a lot of these have been seen recently, and when they're seen, most of the times they'll go ahead and say, it's just SpaceX, it's just SpaceX. But back in December of 2009, before SpaceX was even a thing, something like this was seen over in the Norwegian skies in Russia. They said this was due to a failed missile launch.
Stargazers have a big mystery on their hands, a giant spiral of light that suddenly appeared over northern Norway. The winding image could be seen for hundreds of miles, fueling speculation that it was anything from alien invaders to a new phenomenon. Alex Marquardt reports from Moscow.
Norwegians were treated to a spectacular light show early Wednesday morning that immediately set tongues wagging, everyone asking what created that giant blue pinwheel in the sky. Speculation has settled firmly on a failed Russian rocket test.
So that reporter called it a pinwheel. Notice the pinwheel looks like a swastika. An important question is whether these are being generated artificially or if they are a point where spirit beings are manifesting in our frequency, and I do not know the answer to that. It could be plasma discharged in the sky formed by electromagnetic radiation. When electromagnetic waves like those from a laser or radio frequency source are applied to a gas, they can transfer energy to the gas, causing electrons to be stripped away and form plasma. That could explain what it is technically, but what does it represent? The last one that I know of that was reported was in March of 2025, and I made a video saying that I believe they symbolize an axis mundi, or a portal, the gate of heaven. They say the one in March of 2025 and the one from August 12th, a couple days ago, were caused by rockets. But I think the reason that they are saying that is because rockets are also symbolic of an axis mundi. An axis mundi refers to a symbolic or metaphorical point where different realms of existence connect. It's the point where the celestial realm, the heavens, and the terrestrial realm, the earth, and sometimes the underworld, are believed to converge. Axis mundi symbolism can be found in art, architecture, and other pagan cultural expressions, often depicted as a rocket, a swastika, a ladder, a pillar, a mountain, tree, tower, obelisk, lighthouse, helter-skelter, or other symbolic structure. But essentially it's a portal. And isn't that what they're trying to do with rockets, storm the gate of heaven? And these spirals also symbolize the axis mundi, or portal, also because of the shape they take, which is that of a swastika. I'm going to play a video that I did about this back in March as a reminder about what I think is going on, and in case people who are new to the channel haven't seen that video. The title of this video that I'm showing now is Stunning Blue Spiral from SpaceX Rocket Seen in Europe. That's quite a spiral, and to be seen all over Europe. I guess it really happened because it's not just being reported by the news outlets. A lot of individuals reported having seen it also, and posting videos of it all over Europe. But most do not believe the official story, and neither do I. But I think there is significance in them claiming that it's the result of a rocket, and that's related to what it represents, which I believe is the axis mundi, the gate of heaven, a portal. That's not to say that it is a portal. In other words, it may not be supernaturally generated, but it might be. The official story is that Falcon 9 was carrying out the secret NROL 69 mission under the responsibility of the U.S. National Reconnaissance Office, the NRO. After completing stage separation, the rocket performed a maneuver to release residual fuel in orbit, which generated the blue spiral. The Falcon 9's second stage spun at high speed during fuel release, creating a swirling visual effect with ice crystals formed by the instantaneous freezing of the residue, and then sunlight reflecting off these crystals at high altitude provided this luminous effect visible over large areas of the continent. So let's break this secret NROL 69 mission down a little bit. It says that Falcon 9 is a reusable two-stage rocket designed and manufactured by SpaceX for reliable and safe transport of people and payloads into Earth orbit and beyond. Here's a little bit they say about NROL 69 project. The NRO and Space Force partnered to launch NROL 69, a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, through the National Security Space Launch Program. The mission carries a national security payload designed, built, and operated by the NRO. So that's pretty vague. It doesn't tell you exactly what they're doing, but that is basically all that you can find because it's a secret, even though we're paying for it. They use more words to describe this project, but they don't really tell you anything more than that. We can look at the NRO. This is one of their patches. It says, "We own the night." NRO is a member of the U.S. intelligence community, one of the big 5 intelligence agencies. They design, build, launch, and operate reconnaissance satellites, which provide satellite intelligence to several government agencies, including signals intelligence. And signals intelligence originated with the British Royal Navy. A 1996 report described the NRO as having by far, the largest budget of any intelligence agency and virtually no federal workforce, accomplishing most of its work through tens of thousands of defense contractor personnel. From its founding in 1961, the NRO's existence was classified and not revealed publicly until 1992. So that's spooky. Here's some more interesting patches or logos of the NRO. Nothing is beyond their reach. Wow, playing God, I see. What I think this blue spiral thing seen over Europe represents is a portal, the Axis Mundi, or the gate of heaven. The same thing a rocket represents. I'm not saying that it is a portal. It could be faked for some reason by the secret mission. Maybe they want us to believe the old gods are returning. Or maybe they really are returning. I wish I knew for sure. But what I do think is that there's a lot of hype around the idea that they may be returning. Like Alice Bailey said in 2025. Like how they're claiming to uncover the mysteries of Thoth from under the pyramids in Egypt. Also, according to researchers at the Royal and Papal universities. Let's look at this because it looks like one of the most ancient symbols, if not the most ancient symbol used by cultures all over the world, pagan cultures, the swastika. This just shows you the swastika in Celtic, Japan, Malta, Aztec. So now I'm going to play a video that I did about the swastika before. To figure out what the swastika really represents for a long time now, since it's such an ancient symbol used by the pagan religions. When you research it, it's difficult to pin down what it means. The language describing what it represents seems very witchy to me. In my experience, when you get that type of language, they're trying to obfuscate the meaning. The name derives from Sanskrit, which is an Indo-Aryan root language, which they say means conducive to well-being. But here are all the definitions they give. The Axis Mundi, a representation of the North Pole and the rotational movement around the center, or Axis Mundi. The sun represented in the North Pole, a symbol of life, vivifying role of supreme principle of the universe, the absolute God in relation to the cosmic order, the Hellenic Logos, the Hindu Om, the Chinese Tai, or the Great One of the principle of the universe and the formation of the world, a polar value that has the same meaning as the yin and yang, the great architect of the universe of Masonic thought, the Great One of the principle of the universe of the formation of the world, the North Ecliptic North Pole centered in Draconis with the constellation Draco as one of its beams, the four-horse chariot of Mithra in ancient Iranian culture, The cosmos was pulled by 4 heavenly horses who revolved around a fixed center in a clockwise direction, and that representation also appeared in Roman Mithraism, in iconography, and astronomical representations. This is a view, an aerial view, of San Diego's Coronado Naval Amphibious Base. So that's confusing, huh? It's confusing because what it really represents is a portal. Communication with the fallen angelic world, a portal to the gods of the Aryan bloodlines, the fallen angels. Axis Mundi is just the Latin name for a portal. The Tianmen, or Gate of Heaven, the point where the earth and the heavens meet in the occult. Only it's not a gate to heaven, because in this Aztec ceremonial depiction, it says that symbolizes the creative and generative power of the underworld. The Axis Mundi symbol can be found in cultures utilizing shamanic practices. So that's why in the movie Contact, when they first make contact with aliens, the communicated symbol is the swastika. And that's the point when James Woods, National Security Advisor in the movie, freaks out. And I'll play a little bit of this now.
That's it. It's definitely an image. Try and stabilize it. What do you make of that, fish?
It's almost like they're two different interlaced frames. They're framing one.
It's just noise.
Flying frame two.
I've got an offset carrier here. I think it's audio.
Plug it in. Plug it in.
Center that segment.
Centering.
Can you clean it up anymore, fish?
I'm working on it.
Try zoom it out. All right, freeze.
Where's values?
Try zoom out again. Rotate 90 degrees counterclock.
The Axis Mundi is represented by a tower, ladder, staircase, maypole, totem pole, pillar, obelisk, lighthouse, rocket, as in the Tower of Babel. The ladders in Freemasonic iconography. The lighthouse in the Helter Skelter slide in London or Britain, and the Orbit Tower of Babel sculpture in Olympic Park in London, which is also a Helter Skelter ride. See my video titled Helter Skelter. I'm going to stop right there for a moment because I noticed the Helter Skelter imagery on this virtual recreation of the columns under the pyramids. Continuing. The maypole in Druidism, the totem pole in Native American shamanism, obelisks, see my video titled Obelisk, and rockets. It's actually the representation of an ancient Aryan god and related to the god who dwells in the air, or the prince of the power of the air. It's one of the most common ancient symbols of the Aryan bloodlines in pagan religions. Ubaid culture, pharaohs in Egypt, ancient Babylon, Assyria with the Anunnaki gods, Mithraism, the Tuatha De Danann, Scythian ring lords, Druids and Celts, Templars during the Crusades, Hindus, Buddhism, Freemasons, Nazi, and the Philosophical Society. All the cultures and religions that worship the fallen. So let's see through history where it's represented with those who communicate with the fallen through portals. Starting with the Ubaid culture, this is a bowl from 4000 BC in Iraq. Artifacts from the Ubaid were also found in the village of Tartaria in Transylvania. That's where the snake-headed figurine people were found also. See here in this bowl from the Ubaid, it has the same serpent-looking depictions as in the Aztec one over 5,000 years later. See these little serpent things? Looks very similar. That's over 5,000 years later. Ancient Egypt, Assyria and Babylon related to Marduk. Here you see the horses and chariot at the bottom in the circle. The serpents in the Ubaid and the Aztec bowl also look like they had horse or dragon heads, very similar. Mithraism, the symbol was later attested as the four-horse chariot of Mithras in ancient Iranian culture. They believed the cosmos was pulled by four heavenly horses who revolved around a fixed center in clockwise direction. It was also found later in Roman Mithraic iconography and astronomical representations. This is a Roman Mithraic floor design. I find that very interesting since December 25th is the Romanized birth date of Mithras, which was later adopted into Christmas as Jesus' birthday, which it isn't. So now we understand the Druidic Santa Claus coming from the North Pole or Axis Mundi. The Tuatha De Danann, here you can kind of see it on the horse's bridle. It's very small. Notice they also depict unicorns here in this famous Tuatha De Danann painting, which is an occult representation of the single-horned bull, which is also found on the Ishtar Gate in Babylon, that single-headed horned bull. And I forgot to mention, in the Donnie Darko movie, the unicorn was also featured with the youngest sister carrying around a pet unicorn and writing a story called The Last Unicorn, which is an Antichrist reference. And that movie is also about portals. See my video titled Donnie Darko, and I'll play a little bit of this.
And the prince was then to a world of strange and beautiful magic.
The Last Unicorn by Samantha Darko.
The Druids and the Celts. Here you see the Druid path and the swastika. The Scythian ring lords. There you see the four horses again. Here it is on Herod's temple. The Templars during the Crusades. But this is a representation of one of the carved stone churches, carved out of rock in Ethiopia. And it has swastikas and also the Star of Remphan with the Templar cross in the middle of those churches. And the Ethiopians were reported to have carved those churches over a 24-year period with the assistance of angels. Hinduism, Pumapunku in Bolivia. Buddhism, there you have the third eye going on too. This is a painting by John Duncan, Hymn to the Roses or Rosicrucians, and this middle lady has a swastika on her dress, on her collar there, you can kind of see it. The Nazis, on December 25th of 1900, a monk founded the secret society Order of the New Templars in favor of Nazism, modeled after the Knights Templars its symbol was the swastika. And that organization had a hierarchical fraternal structure similar to Freemasonry. They met to celebrate the summer solstice, an important neo-pagan festivity among the German mystics. Freemasonry. The swastika symbolizes the great architect of the universe of Masonic thought. Here's a swastika in the Freemason temple on the ceiling. The Theosophical Society, or the Lucis Trust, the origin of the United Nations. Blavatsky incorporated the swastika on the cover of all of her works, and this is the official symbol of Theosophy. The swastika represents a portal to the gods of the Aryan bloodlines, the creative and generative power of the underworld, their god, in relation to the cosmic order, the Great One, the great architect of the universe in Masonic thought. Thanks for listening. So, I hope you see this. I think it's very interesting that this portal thing looks like a swastika, which represents the axis mundi, or the gate of heaven. And that's the same thing that the rocket represents, which they're stating formed this thing. So we'll have to see what happens. Thanks for listening. Okay, so I'm sorry about the small screen, but that was a video within a video within a video, because I've been covering this Axis Mundi swastika portal situation for a while now, because I think it's important and I needed to reuse some of those videos instead of making a new one because I'm running short on time. But the four horses representation is interesting because the four horses of the apocalypse. So in Norway in 2009, this is the one from Norway. And so they say that the one on August 12th of this year and the one in March were caused by a rocket, but there was also this one in Norway, which looked like a blue light coming from behind a mountain, stopping in midair, and then starting to spiral outwards. A similar event had also occurred in Norway a month before. They blamed this one on a Russian ballistic missile test. There was another similar sighting in Sweden and nearby countries in 1946, and they termed those as ghost rockets. So that's an interesting name. And those were described as rocket or missile-shaped unidentified flying objects. About 2,000 sightings were logged and verified with radar returns, and authorities recovered physical fragments which were attributed to ghost rockets. Investigations at that time concluded that many ghost rocket sightings were probably caused by meteors falling within the peak of the annual Perseid meteor shower. However, most ghost rocket sightings did not occur during the meteor shower activity, and furthermore displayed characteristics inconsistent with meteors, such as reported maneuverability. So this claim is that meteors shot out in all directions from the constellation Perseus during the Perseid meteor showers. And the Perseid meteor shower was also supposed to be occurring a couple days ago on August 12th, when the latest spiral was seen also. So the constellation Perseus is named for Perseus, the Greek hero or Nephilim god, the son of Zeus, related to prophecy. So this Perseid meteor shower is also named after Perseus. The Hessdalen lights were unidentified lights observed in Norway, and they're observed there periodically since at least the 1930s. So those lights appear both by day and night and seem to float through and above the valley. They are usually bright white, yellow, or red and can appear above and below the horizon. The duration of the phenomenon can be a few seconds to over an hour. The lights move at enormous speed and seem to sway slowly back and forth at other times, and then still at other times they hover in midair. So notice that most of the places where these spiral portals are seen, and the Hessdalen lights and the Perseid meteor showers and all that, they happen in areas like Norway, Sweden, Russia, and Northern Europe. So those, here's over here is Norway, Sweden, Finland. Here's Russia, Northern Europe. Notice that all of those seem pretty close to the North Pole, or the Pole Star, or the Axis Mundi. Thanks for listening.